Okie dokie. Let's start this review. Okay. All right. Okay, so I was super nice, and why does this not look like the right review? Because it's not. Sorry, guys. Got excited. Grabbed the wrong one. Exam 3. Do I really not have the... Where is it? Well, I guess we're doing it in the whiteboard because I only did it as a power or as a PDF, I guess. All right, sorry. Okay. So, first question. So the directions that I gave you on the exam review are the direct directions that are on the exam itself. So I made sure to go extremely close to what you're going to be working with. All right, so the approach you want to use for this one, you basically want to take the inside exponent and divide it by the outside root. So how many times is 9 going to 50?
5.
Yep, 5 times. And then we're going to have a remainder of 5. That is the worst R in the world. Let's fix it. So then that means your overall answer will be x to the 5th power outside, little 9, x to the 5th power. Nope, I lied to you. Or did I? Did I lie to you? I don't think I lied to you. Someone let me know if I lied to you. But I'm pretty sure that's how you want the answer. I made sure that the examples followed all right, any questions on this type of problem? All right, did not think so. All right, let's clear it. All right, question 2. So we want to solve the rational equation. We are given 5 over x plus 2 plus 7 over x minus 2. Now, I'm really hoping that you guys aren't going to get confused because I did make them extremely close to what you're going to be doing for the actual exam, but it basically flip-flops some things around, so please don't get confused. I will feel terrible if I caused you to mess things up. All right, so what do you think your lowest common denominator is going to be?
X minus 2x plus 2.
That's part of it. So x minus 2. Yeah. You're right. X plus 2, x minus 2. Good job. Why do you think we can use that? Because this is equal to that, right? Okay, good. So we're going to rewrite it with what's missing. So what's missing for the first fraction?
X minus 2.
Excellent. So we're going to have 5 times the quantity x minus 2 plus 7 times the quantity x plus 2. And then it's going to be equal to are 10x minus 2. Now, don't get into the habit that I got into where I pulled a term out. You're just going to end up having to put it back in. So go ahead and leave it as 10x minus 2. So let's go ahead and distribute on the left-hand side. And then we will do our like terms. So 5x minus 10 plus 7x plus 14. And I apologize if I end up going a little bit fast, but since we've covered everything at this point, it's purely for the review aspect. Okay. So, all right, if we have 7x and 5x together, we're going to have 12x. Okay. And then 14 minus 10 will give us a positive 4. So we have 10x minus 2. Did anybody already do the review and would like to put some problems up? Because I'm totally fine if you'd like to share the wealth of writing on the board. No? Okay. All right, so 12x minus 10x gives me 2x. And then we have negative 2 minus 4 gives us a negative 6. Divide each side by 2. And we end up with x equals negative 3. Now, I can tell you that I went ahead and already checked this, so it does work. I would recommend that you also do the check on the exam. I will give bonus for certain questions. So, number 2, if you do a bonus, or if you do the check, you get a bonus. Let's see. Number 15. I feel like it's more than that, but definitely those two. All right, let's move on. Okay. All right, number 3. So kind of similar to what we just did. We have a little bit different of a lowest common denominator because obviously we're working with just a term. So what's our LCD going to be?
Or
Or X.
Excellent, both of you. Okay. All right, so same concept. We're going to ask ourselves, what are we missing? So 4x is our LCD, 6 over x. So then we're going to have to multiply by the 4. Now, what's the other way we can do if you can't see just by looking at it? How did we do it before? We literally brought it over, right? Okay. So you can bring it over if that makes it easier for you to see what's missing and what gets crossed out. Okay. So here you can see the x cancels, the 4 cancels, and the x cancels. So we're going to end up with 24 minus x equals 32. Subtract 24 on both sides. We get a minus x equals 8. Divide both sides by negative 1. X equals negative 8. Okay. Again, I can tell you that I checked it and it's true. If we wanted to check it verbally, you plug the negative 8 in. 6 over a negative 8 is going to reduce down to what?
-3/4.
And then -3/4 minus 1/4 will give us a -4/4, which is -1. 8 over a -8 gives us -1. They work. Yay, everybody's happy. Okay. All right. Number 4. I guess before I go on to number 4, did anyone who did the review early? Do you guys have anything that you want me to go over in case we run out of time? I guess I can just do the whole thing, and then if you guys need to leave, you can leave, or whatever the situation is. If you just want to see them worked out, I can just work them out. Maybe we'll go with fast style. You guys can just ask questions if you have them. Okay, so for this approach, we want to go ahead and multiply inside numbers with inside numbers and outside numbers with outside numbers. We have no outside numbers. So 15 times 2 gives us 30. X squared times x gives us x cubed. 30, we cannot split 30. It's 1 in 30, 2 in 15, 5 and 6, 3 and 10. None of those are perfect squares. So we can bring an x out, and we have 30x remaining. Everybody agree? Okay, good. Number 5. All right. And again, public service announcement. I made these look really close to your exam, so please don't get confused. Okay. All right. So 108. Remember before I told you guys that there's basically a little bit of trick if you kind of know what you're looking for. You can see that we have the square root of 3. Now, if the whole point of the problem is to combine the problem, then chances are we're going to be able to divide it by the root that they give us. So 108 divided by 3 gives us 36. 36 is a perfect square. So I'm just going to write it off to the side. Square root of 108 is equal to the square root of 36 times 3, which is 6 root 3. Okay. So then we can come back over here. 6 times 6x square root of 3 plus 7 times 6 times 6, or 6x times square root of 3. So let's clean it up a little bit. X square root of 3 minus 36x square root of 3 plus 42x square root of 3. Do you think we can combine this problem? Did we have the same root? Is it the same little number on the outside? Okay, they're all 2's. Is it the same radicand? Meaning the number on the inside? Yes. So we can combine everything. 43 minus 36 will give us a 7x square root of 3. There you go. Both of those are correct. All right. Questions on that? No? Okay. Remember, if I go too fast, this will be uploaded today for you, as well as I am saving solutions. Okay. I believe I also already have my handwritten solutions up on my Google Drive, but unfortunately it came with that small mistake. But it's okay. All right. Okay. So first question is, are the roots the same? Are the little numbers on the outside the same in this problem? They are. They're both cubes. Second question is, can we reduce this so our radicands can be the same? Well, 64 is 4 cubed. Okay. 144. That one's a little bit harder. Okay. 2 cubed is 8. And then we have times 18x. All right. So we can pull out a 4 and leave an x. We can pull out a 2 and leave the 18x. Can I combine it? Can I do anything else? No, because my radicands are not the same. Okay. All right. I don't think there's anything else you can pull out of the 18. If there is, it's not going to lead you to just an x. So either way, you can't combine them. All right. Okay. Number 7. Number 7 is fun. We just basically get to cancel things out. So, we have 21z cubed over 45 y to the 5th times 9y z to the 4th over 42 z to the 8th. All right, so you could go through and try to cross things out. I went ahead and did an extra step so that if anyone has trouble, you can see it. Two times 3 times 7 z to the 8th. Okay, so we can see that the 9s will cancel, the 3s, the 7s. So we basically only have a 2 and a 5 left on the bottom. So that will be 10 on the bottom. And then let's look at our variables. We have a y up top, so that's y to the 1st, right? And then we have y to the 5th on the bottom. So how many y's are we going to have left in our answer?
4.
4. Okay, so it'll be y to the 4th on the bottom, right? Okay, because this cancels and this cancels. All right, so we have z cubed and z to the 4th up top. How many z's is that together?
Be 5.
3 and 4? Or were you giving me an answer? If we have z cubed times z to the 4th, remember we add our exponents. So how many z's are we going to have up top?
7.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we
I was looking at the Z on the bottom. I don't know why I wrote a Z on the bottom.
That's okay. So if we have Z to the 7th on top and Z to the 8th on the bottom, we're just going to end up with how many Z's? Just one, right? And it'll be on the bottom. Okay, which means everything on top has canceled out or moved around. Okay. All right. Questions on that? All right. Again, if you guys go over these on your own, once we're done here today or even beforehand, I really think they do help for your exam. Okay. X cubed minus 1. Now, I did make a little note here. I had to change some of the signs after I emailed them to you guys so that it would look a little bit more like your exam, the outcome anyway. So I believe this had to become a positive and this had to become a positive. So in your first version, those were negatives. But in order for the problem to work out nicely, they were negatives, they have to be positives. Okay. Let's finish it out. All right, so in order to do this one, you have to go through and factor everywhere. To factor this one, we're going to use a difference of 2 cubes. All right, so you're going to have x minus 1, x squared plus x plus 1. All right, 2x. That doesn't really do anything. Then we're going to pull a negative 30 out. We end up getting x minus 1. And then on the bottom for this one, we pull out an x and we get x squared plus x plus 1. Whole bunch of stuff goes through and cancels. X minus 1 cancels. X cancels. X plus 2. X squared plus x plus 1 cancels. And we actually end up with just negative 2 over 30, which is equal to negative 1 over 15. Please make sure you pay attention to your work. It is very, very, very close to the answer that you will get on the test. Okay. Any questions? No? All right, you guys are doing good. All right, what was that? That was number 8. Okay, number 9 is, I would say, pretty fairly easy. If you mess up on this one on the test, I'm just going to assume you didn't pay attention, even in just the review. Okay, so when you want to rewrite in radical form from exponential, the bottom number, the denominator of the fraction, becomes the root. Okay. And the warning I will give you guys is don't feel like you need to simplify that. That's it. Leave it the way it is. I will not mark it wrong if it is equivalent, but if you were to do it like for a Pearson problem or whatever, they will mark it wrong. Leave it like that. Okay. Here's your next problem. 5 over x squared minus 36 plus 1 over x plus 6 all over 7 over x squared minus 36 plus 6 over x minus 6. What do you guys think your LCD is going to be?
X plus 6, x minus 6.
Very good. Okay, x plus 6 and x minus 6. All right. So you can kind of do this problem a little bit nice. You can basically do, you can see that the LCD is equal to the denominator of the 5, right? Those are equivalent. So you're just going to have 5 plus, then the only thing missing for the 1 is the x minus 6. So x minus 6. Same thing on the bottom. You have 7 plus 6 times now x plus 6. That's what's missing. Right? So you basically just have to distribute the bottom. So we end up with 5 minus 6 will give us a minus 1. So x minus 1 over 7 plus 6x plus 36. So we rewrite, we have x minus 1 on top. We have 6x. And then 7 plus 36 will give us what?
43.
Great. There you go. One paper down. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Remember, if you want to, while you're working through things, you can just write down LCD. You don't have to write it the whole time. But if you prefer to write it out, that's fine. I will accept as many worked out images as you would like to present to me. All right, x squared minus 5x plus 6 minus 25 over 2x squared minus 12x plus 16. All right, so our denominators end up working out to be x minus 2 and x minus 3. And then we pull out a 2 and we get x minus 4 and x minus 2. So what do you know your LCD is going to be? What do you guys think? Remember, the LCD is going to have each part represented once.
So is it going to be the 2 and then x minus 4, x minus 2, x minus 3?
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, this would probably be one of the ones where I'm just going to use LCD until we get to the full answer. In fact, for space, I might just go ahead and write LCD for all of it. Okay, so we have 5x here on top. We know that we're missing the 2 and the x minus 4. Okay. And then for the second part, we have 25 on the outside. And now we're missing just the x minus 3, right? Everything else is accounted for. This whole thing is over the LCD. Okay. So now we just have to go through and combine, like distribute and then combine like terms. 2 times x will give us 2x. 2x times 5x gives us 10x squared. 2 times negative 4 will give us a negative 8. Negative 8 times 5x will give us a negative 40x. And you can do that in pieces if you want. You can see how I wrote it down. I think I did just write it down though. Okay. Negative 25 times x will give us a negative 25x. And negative 25 times negative 3 will give us a positive 75. Again, it's all over the LCD. All right, so if we were to combine these, which we will, we get 10x squared minus 65x plus 75. Okay, you can see that a 5 comes out of all of that. So we would end up with 2x squared minus, what was my calculator? What is that, 13, right? Just to be safe, we'll double check that. Yep, so the 13x plus 15. Okay. We can now factor that. So let's come down here. 5 on the outside. We will get 2x minus 3 and x minus 5. I believe your exam question was not as scary as this one was, but I had to make it a little bit different. Okay, so that is your overall answer for this problem. You can see you can't, you cannot simplify it anymore by crossing anything out. Ideally, I believe that's what I was trying to do. So you might be able to cross some things out in your exam, but I'm not entirely sure. All right, any questions on this one? No? Okay. All right, let's keep it rocking and rolling. All right, number 12 is a simplification problem. So 6 over 8 minus the square root of b. What do you guys think we need to do here?
Would you multiply by the conjugate?
Yes, we're going to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate. The conjugate would be what?
Eight plus the square root of b.
Very good. Okay, so on the top, you can choose to distribute. You don't have to. I feel like for purposes of the test, so that I can easily see the conjugate, that's probably why they didn't. And then on the bottom, you're going to go through and you just have to worry about the first and the last. The outside and inside end up canceling. So you get 64 minus b. We get that because our square roots end up canceling. Number 13, you will get a significant bonus if you can work through the check. Okay, so we get the square root of 6x minus 7. Outside the square root is a plus 4 equals 0. We have to solve this, so what's the first step you're going to take?
Would you get rid of that positive 4 by subtracting it?
Mm-hmm. What do you think your next step's going to be? Anybody?
Square both sides.
Mhm. Okay, so we have 6x minus 7 equal to 16. Oh, that's positive. We're going to add 7 to both sides. So we get 6x equal to 23. So x equals 23 over 6. There you go. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Number 14. All right. Number 14, I think I like wrote out the question. I don't know. It's in, you guys have it. So we have a triangle and the height is equal to 6 feet. The distance is equal to 8 feet. And we don't know what the radius or hypotenuse, if you choose to call it that way, we don't know what that equals. So here's what we do know. R squared is equal to h squared plus d squared. Now, just a side note, when you take trig, you start with right triangles, but you will not always have a right triangle. So don't get into the habit of just blindly doing r squared or c squared equals blah, blah, blah. Make sure you pay attention to things and you might have to use other formulas. Okay. All right. So h is 6, d is 8. And we're going to do the square root so that we can get the result. 36 plus 64 will give us the square root of 100. Technically, that is equal to plus or minus, but we are talking about a distance, so we're going to use the positive. So r equals positive 10 feet. All right. Okay. Again, if I am going too fast, let me know, but you will also have the video. Okay, so number 15, we have 2x squared minus 6x plus 8 is equal to x plus 1. What do you think our first step's going to be?
Square both sides.
We are going to square both sides. What do you notice is a little bit different about this problem compared to other problems? What do we have on the right-hand side? We have an expression, right? So we're going to have to FOIL that. Okay, we can't just bring in the x squared factor. All right, so on the left side, the square root cancels. We get 2x squared minus 6x plus 8. And then on the right-hand side, we actually have x plus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, we're going to pull out a 2, and we get x squared minus 3x minus 4. We'll go the next step and we'll actually factor it. So x and x. Minus factors of minus 4 that have to get us a negative 3. What are we going to use? Wait. Let's not do that yet. That's going to give us a headache. Let's instead go ahead and FOIL this. So what do we get on the right side? When we FOIL this, what do we get on the right-hand side?
X squared plus 2x plus 1.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract. And this is why we stopped before we started factoring. Okay. So we end up with x squared minus 8x minus 9, which very nicely factors into x and x. And then we have what? Oops. Nobody caught my sign error. It's all right. I'll forgive you. All right. If we have a positive 7, but we want to get a negative 8 in the middle, what are we going to use?
X minus 7 and x minus 1.
There you go. Okay. If we solve for those, we end up getting x equal to 1 or x equal to 7. All right. I suggest you don't go on blind faith alone. You want to plug them in and see which one of them works best. You might end up getting rid of one. You may end up keeping them both. You don't know. All right. Again, that's one of the numbers that if you do your check, you're going to get a bonus. All right. Number 16 was another word problem. I'm not going to go looking for it. You guys, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you can refer to it. But it's obviously an inverse problem. All right, so we're given 5 equals k over 30. So then k equals 150. And then y equals 150 over 50. So then y equals 3 feet per second. Okay, that is that one. Number 17. Direct inverse problem. Okay, y equals kx. We're given that 9 is equal to k times 18. So then that means that k is equal to 1/2. And then y equals 1/2 times 6. So then y equals 3 gallons of water. Do not think that your exam is going to have the same answer for each of those. It just kind of worked out that way. Okie dokie. All right, 14. Those ones are done. 18, 19, and 20. Yay. Okay. Questions? No? Okay. All right, number 18 is a division problem. Remember, like with most fraction problems, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. But before we do that, let's go ahead and we will factor what we can factor. Okay. All right, so first one is the difference of two squares, so we can just go ahead and split that. So is the bottom. Is also a difference of two squares. Very nice. I was very nice to you guys. Okay, so 5x minus 2, and then 5x plus 2. We also get 3x minus 3. Nope. Just kidding. Minus 4 and 3x plus 4. All right. Second fraction, we have 5x and x. And then we have -2 and -2. Then we also have on the bottom 3x -4, 3x -4. Okay, we cannot start canceling at the moment because we are still in a division problem. What do we have to do?
Multiply by the reciprocal.
Perfect.
Return.
So we're going to rewrite this second portion. So 5x -2 over 5x + 2 over 3x -4 and 3x + 4. Now we make it a multiplication. 3x -4, 3x -4 on top. Then we get 5x -2 and x -2 on the bottom. What do we notice happens? What happens?
Doesn't the bottom cancel out?
Not completely, but yes. So we have 3x -4 and we have 3x -4. We also have a 5x -2 and a 5x -2. And then all we're going to do is bring the rest of that together. So you're going to end up with 5x + 2 times 3x -4 on top. And then on the bottom, you'll have 3x + 4 and x -2. Right, that is your solution. Okay. Okay. Any questions on this one? All right. Make sure you ask. Wonder what this does. I'm gonna remind me at the end that I want to try something before I get out of the whiteboard. All right, 19. So it says evaluate the function at the indicated value. And they give us f of x equals the square root of 2x minus 2. And we want to know what f of 5 is. How do we figure it out? What do we do?
Substitute 5 for x.
Very good. So f of 5 equals the square root of 2 times 5 minus 2. So that'll be the square root of 10 minus 2, which is the square root of 8. And that gives us the square root of 4 times 2, which is 2 square root of 2. Technically, you could throw a plus or minus on the out front. I will not take off if you don't, but that is correct. The answer on my worksheet is not. Any questions on that guy? All right, the last one I did just to be super nice to you guys, I really fought with myself on showing it. So it just truly is way too close to what is going on with the exam, but I'll show you nonetheless because I did try to change as much as I could. All right, so for this last one, you're asked to solve for a specific variable. You just have to follow through and you undo things. So the s is underneath the square root. How do you undo a square root? You square both sides. Okay. So then you end up with d squared equals 5s over pi times v. Gonna multiply both sides by pi times v. They cancel. And then you get d squared pi v equal to 5s. Gonna divide both sides by 5. So then s is equal to d squared pi v all over 5. Okay. Okay. I do want to check and see what happens when I do this. Has everybody got this? You're cool? All right, what happens when I do this? Oh! Are you joking me? Dude, you guys. I didn't have to keep